Do you have a favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era?
Probably, and there's a reason for this. So my late Attitude Era memories, like 2000 when SmackDown started, I was hardcore, man. I loved wrestling. The first SmackDown video game, I almost wore the disc out. I'm telling you, like it was. I played it so much. It had, in my opinion, the beginning of Create a Wrestler. Yep. With a very rudimentary, you pick a face, you pick a body, you pick a bottom, that's all you got. But it worked. And man, it was just a good game. So I'd play that with friends or my cousin until 9 o'clock and then flip on SmackDown. And I never missed the SmackDown. I never missed a Raw. That's the thing about that time period for me, is that it was can't miss TV. You had to tune in, even when it was at its worst during the Attitude Era for a lot of people, when Austin was injured and Triple H and The Rock were really carrying the company. Man, what a great job that they did. It was still must-watch TV because there was 10 storylines. You had 2 hours filled with storylines. And it's really about all those other guys, the undercard guys, that also played a huge role in the Attitude Era. I think about guys like Mark Henry, who had some great storylines, and just really kind of a wild time. Also, for me, the Attitude Era is like, you can look at that period as when theme songs became so important. Yeah. To this day, glass shatters, the crowd goes nuts. If you smell, the crowd goes nuts. Triple H Motorhead hits, the crowd goes nuts. Before that, there was a couple. Ultimate Warrior's song comes to mind. Hogan's song comes to mind.
Savage,
but not everybody.
No.
During the Attitude Era, those CDs were phenomenal. That was
something that they did right. They promoted wrestling, because I remember having WWF The Music Volume 3, WWF The Music Volume 4, and it was like, who do they have now? And I remember, like, they'd always have, like, one of the popular songs. I think it was on The Music Volume 4, which had the, like, green, like it was black and green, and the one song they had on there that I'd let everybody listen to, like it's in the car, and it wasn't even a CD, it was a little cassette tape, but they had Ass Man on there, the Billy Gunn song. Yeah. And you listen to those lyrics and you're like, what the hell were they smoking? Like, it is just the weirdest song ever, but we loved it because, you know, an ass, that's what made Billy Gunn's career, showing your ass.
It's a weird time, but that for me is when and you're right, they definitely promoted it well then. Yeah. And it's carried on to now. WWF music's become a big thing, but that's where it started.
Absolutely. You mentioned the year 2000, and a lot of people will say, like, peak WWF Attitude Era was 99. That was at its peak popularity. The year 2000 is one of my all-time favorite years in wrestling. And Austin is injured, so that's a negative right there because that's the biggest star in the world. But you got The Rock and Stone Cold, The Rock and Triple H, sorry.
Crazy storylines.
Rolling with it. Crazy. Let's not forget the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year is Triple H's really big run as world champion. And who's he feuding? Mick Foley.
Yeah.
That's the Royal Rumble match, the No Way Out, the Hell in a Cell match. That's one of my favorite feuds ever. Mick Foley made Triple H in that feud. But later on, like, Mick Foley's so good, all of a sudden he's the commissioner. And every backstage segment with him after that, it's must see. His office, he's sitting on a lawnmower and he's got some cactuses around and he's got like a stuffed dog. And, you know, he's like, I remember there was like a picture of Beethoven or Mozart or whatever. And he's like singing to the picture and he's going, hit me, baby, one more time.
So I just looked it up. November 29th, 1999 was the date of the Test Stephanie wedding.
That's right.
That whole gimmick. So you're right. It's late 1999, leads through almost all of 2000.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that should be, I mean, if you take a step back and look at it logically as an adult, it's 2025. He drugged a woman drove her through a drive-through. We're laughing, but it's like, what the fuck? He drugged her, got her drunk and drugged her, drove her through a drive-through wedding thing, and said, "I do," and like faked a marriage. And this was hilarious, acceptable, and on TV. Tell me wrestling doesn't get better than that. Go away.
Well, here's the thing. It gets better than that because after that, she falls in love with him.
Yeah.
Like it's total soap opera storyline, what have you. But you know, we all tuned in, and Stephanie became a big character.
Huge.
Like
she was nobody I think knew how good she was yet.
Yeah.
She's a really underrated talent on the mic, gets a great reaction from the crowd, has a presence. Yeah, it was such a memorable time.
Yeah. Let's touch on WCW for a second because this was smack dab during the Monday Night Wars. I can go back and watch any Monday Night Raw, any SmackDown between, 97 and 2000. I know SmackDown only debuted in 99, but any of these shows from the WWF, going back to watch WCW, it's like when I went back to go watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I realized it was not for me anymore. And watching WCW now, you realize how fucking terrible it is. Like, yes, you have the cruiserweights and you have great wrestling. Jericho's a great character and all that. You have this amazing cruiserweight match between two luchadors, let's say, and all the commentators can say is, "Oh, Hulk Hogan's going to do this and the NWO that," and everything's about that. Like, is that a problem in wrestling, especially that point in time?
Well, I mean, at the peak Attitude Era, WCW was really busy beating a dead horse. Like, they were taking that dead horse and beating it for the 10th time. We had NWO everything. NWO. Yep. Like, there's too many NWOs by then. Mm-hmm. They had a good thing, and they were like, wow, this is working. Let's really overkill this.
Yeah.
And that's what that peak WWF time period was. And people always say that's when the Monday Night War was won. And you can go to that exact moment. I love watching those videos where on WCW TV, they're laughing that Foley's going to win on a taped Raw.
Yeah.
And all their viewers go to WWF, and a lot of them just never went back. Huge mistake.
That's a huge moment.
Yeah.
Mick Foley, to me, I've always liked Mick Foley. I think Mick Foley, is he someone that I would have seen as a world champion? Absolutely not. Him getting it is like, this is different. This is good. And this is a moment that makes you feel good to be a wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. Like, you're seeing him run around the ring like he's so excited. And then you look at WCW, some of the things that they would do, like hearing the story of Hulk Hogan having them bring in the Ultimate Warrior just so Hogan can get his win back. That's insane. That is sick in the head if you think about it. Hogan wants a win in a scripted show. Like I've never been a fan of Hogan. I think he's a scumbag human being, and I will not edit this out. He's a piece of shit. Simple as that. But you hear things like that, and you're like, why was he allowed to? Like, how does he have fans? How?
I mean, it was a deep bankroll at WCW. Yeah. That's the key. They had all kinds of money and a lot of talent, and it just was mismanaged and went the wrong way because probably too much of that talent was able to book for themselves, looking back, and that was their downfall. And in WWF, where everybody there was working for themselves, in WWF, everybody was working for the company. Everybody had a part, everybody played a role, and then you could tell that the talent knew that they were peaking. Another thing that I go back to is Beyond the Mat came out during that peak Attitude Era, and it was like one of the first times you really saw behind the curtain. And it was cool, man. I love that documentary. It's not talked about enough anymore, but even today it stands up. It's still a decent watch. 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
So